If you guys watched yesterday's video, it is 10 seconds after that video ended. I called the firefighter. The man himself is on the way over, and we're gonna see what he has to say. Holy fuck, you scared the shit out of me. I was just about to yell. I was like, yo, don't go around the house.
What is that smell?
Well, dude, that is the issue that we are having. You see that? Isn't that weird? I know it's leaking. I've accepted that. Yes, I may have had a little bit of fun today. I don't think it's a head gasket because I was just shooting flames and I was not overheating.
That's gross.
What?
That's gross.
The coolant?
Yeah.
You can move your noggin. I can't. I don't want to headbutt you.
That's not.
It's juicy, boy.
That's dirty.
Can you tell me I gotta do 2 head gaskets in the same week? I actually don't care if I have to do this head gasket because it's easier than the other one. But then you start the question of, do we do a head gasket or do we just swap it with a VTEC?
Could be a head gasket for the oil to be chunky coming out. It's a symptom.
A symptom? Oh, you have head gasket failure. You got chunky oil? I don't know, dude. I'm not sold on the fact that it's a head gasket. I don't know why. I know the coolant's yucky color and whatever, but like, could it not just be this thing leaking everywhere? I didn't even know there was an O-ring in it until you were on the way over here, and then I googled it. A weird leaking problem that these cars have. So looks like it could very well have been that seal.
Could be right there, Robbie repairs. I just like to hide out over here though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so we pulled it and like, this is the way this would orientate in the car. And just the way the gunge is like built up right at the bottom of the distributor is kind of leading us to believe that it might just be the distributor that was leaking because it has like this O-ring on it. And that O-ring is probably blown and leaking down. Because if you look in behind the distributor, that's where like all the gunge is. So it very well may just be that this thing has been leaking and leaking for a while, and then under boost it doesn't like what's happening. We've been having distributor issues for the longest time. Sometimes the car doesn't start properly, sometimes it just doesn't start at all. Sometimes you're driving it and it just starts backfiring for no reason. Like you'll be driving it and it's just bang, 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 because it's misfiring because the distributor's gone. And that's how we know it's a distributor, is because it's very intermittent. It does a bunch of different things that all relate back to a distributor. So
and the spark plugs are new.
Yeah, and the spark plugs are new. And when we had a dyno day, he told us like, yo, your distributor's toast. But we just have been ignoring the fact that we need to do that. So I guess we'll start with the distributor and go from there. Is it just me, or does the G7X make it look like really cold all the time? Like the colors are like always really cold. Anyways, welcome back to, I don't know, the next day. It's the next day now. What I'm gonna be doing this morning is draining the oil quickly. So last night, I don't exactly remember where I left off, but last night, basically we determined that it was the distributor that's leaking. But what I wanna do is just drain the oil and check it, because me and Emerson noticed that the coolant is a little bit gross. While we're taking things apart, it's better to just check it and then we know. As far as new distributors, they're actually one of the most expensive distributors there is for these Hondas. None of the wreckers around me have one, because obviously because they're so expensive, like as soon as one comes in, someone goes and snags it. And then to get a new one is like really expensive at Lordco. So thankfully one of my friends that works at Lordco, he actually has the same Civic and he has like a bucket. He got like a really good deal on like a bunch of distributors. He's gonna sell me one for pretty cheap. And I don't know if the distributor itself works, but he is basically gonna show me how to take like the igniter, because the reason it's not starting right all the time, something's wrong with the igniter as far as I'm aware. So I'm gonna take the igniter out of that one, put it in this one, take the O-ring off, put it on this one, and that should fix that. But first, we may as well check for head gaskets, because if the head gasket's gone on this guy, the distributor is the least of my worries. Moment of truth. Basically what you'd be looking for is like any like floating water, or like little water marks or anything. There's a lot of bubbles, but that's because I let it run and drip for like the last 15 minutes. So it was just dripping in here, causing a million little bubbles. But like, as far as the actual oil goes, I don't see any like watery spots or any weird coolant things in here. To me, honestly, it looks perfectly fine. That's awesome news for me. I'm stoked. And maybe when I'm boosting really, really hard, there's a tiny bit of blow by in the head gasket. I don't even know if that can happen. If it can, maybe I'm blowing a tiny bit of oil into the coolant. But there's no coolant in the oil. The oil looks perfect, thank God. So what I'm gonna do now, I gotta rip out, I gotta buy some oil, I gotta buy a new filter, and then we're gonna go pick up the other distributors, the rings and whatever, and see what we can kind of come up with for rebuilding that. I'll take this one. I'm gonna give them like 20 bucks for them, I think. But basically the rings on these ones are perfectly fine, and the ring on this one is leaking, right? Like you can see that, right? So I'm gonna pop the ring off this and put it on there. And then also what I'm gonna do is, this one may be risky, but the starter is or the igniter or whatever it is what's giving me the issue when the car doesn't start. So what I'm gonna try and do is take the cap off that, replace the igniter. Probably a job beyond my skill set. I'm down to learn it, and I've done a lot of jobs beyond my skill set lately, so I'm not too worried about it. I did mark this distributor before I took it off. You can see the mark there, and then there's one down there. So that's good. I'm gonna rip it off. We'll move to the table and start tearing this one down, I guess. It's a different, he said it's got like the same internals or something. I don't know anything about distributors. All I know is that I'm just gonna do what he said and hope it works. Dude, why does my distributor have to be the most broken one? Like, I just pulled both those apart. I even pulled these wheels off to like make sure they came off easy. Yet mine is gonna have to be friggin' broken apart if I wanna get into it. Let me update you. This is my distributor. It's completely apart. Pieces are everywhere. I don't know what pieces are what. I'm gonna rebuild it based off what I see on the other ones, because I have no idea what I've done to this one. The entire time I was ripping this thing apart, the same thing happened on this one. I was trying to get the top off and it broke. So you have this this thing used to be on here, right? This is from the one that it came off nicely, this one. So that used to be there, and then when you break it off, the plastic breaks, the metal seized. I really had to tear this whole one apart so I didn't break anything else, and what I ended up doing was putting a wrench, which flew off in the chaos of me getting it off somewhere. This is whatever I already said it was, ignition pack or whatever. This is the igniter, and you can see this is what was giving mine problems, because this is, if I could focus it, because this thing is soaked in oil, and it's the only thing that's kind of wet. So I'm pretty sure all that happened was oil leaked in, got on this one, because inside of this is completely bone dry. So basically what I'm doing is I'm swapping the igniter and the ignition pack or whatever the hell this thing's called. I think that's it for now. I'm gonna swap those into here, see if that works. If that doesn't work, I might also swap some magnets around. Make sure I keep my lines and everything where they were. You put an exhaust on and you kind of have a general understanding of what you did. Or you put a turbo kit on and you kind of have a general understanding of what you did. You guys get the idea? I took this thing apart and I have no idea what's going on in there. This is a very confusing box. I'm still not 100% sure what I did, but the distributor cap is back. Everything is back. All the wiring's run, I think. I put the drain plug back in, just filling it with oil. I made sure that all like the distributor things were aligned and everything. It should be good, like it should be ready to go. I made sure that this is all nice and clean, that way if it does start to come out again, we can definitely tell right away. We have the moment of truth, my favorite time of the day, where we test Robbie Ferreira's skills and abilities. Did he, yet again, do something amazing? Or did we pooch this one too? That is the question. Holy sh**. It started. There's no way I pulled that off. Damn, high five, boys. Yesterday it was being super bad. Like I put gas in it and then it wouldn't start. And then I stopped at somewhere. I went to start it and then it wouldn't start. And you have to give it like 5 minutes every time to let the distributor just figure out what it's doing. But yeah, it was the exact same thing that happened in the Dyno Day video, and it would happen all the time. I just didn't put it in all the videos. And it just wouldn't start. You'd have to give it like 5 minutes. You'd have to sit there with the key out and just give it 5. If you mess with it, nothing happened. You'd literally... Seems fine. You literally just had to give it time. Get out of here. 2,000 RPMs just to make sure it wasn't, I don't know what it wouldn't be, to make sure the timing was right, I guess. I don't know. Drives so much better. Didn't realize how much of our like driving issues were just distributor related, I guess. Like it used to like not misfire, but you'd get on it, and sometimes you'd like, there's videos of where I do it too, where I like floor it and I just step on it and all of a sudden it just goes bang, bang, and it just backfires because it's misfiring instead of actually driving around. It almost feels like smoother, like the power band almost feels smoother. That may just be me psyching myself out because I did it, but like, that's not something I was looking for. I was just looking for no more misfires and stuff. Now that it's warmed up, I just want to bring it up to boost and make sure that we're still making full boost. I don't see why we wouldn't be, but I just want to double check. So like, the stuff that was already there I didn't clean all of it off perfectly. You can see like that stuff there, as it got hot, it just started running, but like the leak wasn't coming from up here, the leak was coming from over there. That's just like extra stuff that's just now getting hot and melting down, but everything stayed pretty clean. Honestly, I'm stoked we fixed it. I mean, I guess today's moral is find out what's wrong with your distributor. I don't know. I still don't know really what was wrong with it. I don't really understand distributors, but I told my friend what was happening and he was like, yo, this is what you gotta do. This is what's wrong, this is what'll make it better, you gotta switch this, blah, blah, blah. And then basically you'll probably have to go to like a Wreckers and get a distributor, which might just work to just swap the distributors right out. But if you need one for parts, you can just go to the Wreckers, grab a distributor, you can probably buy a used one or whatever. Way cheaper than buying a brand new distributor. Because a brand new distributor for this thing, I don't remember what he quoted me, but I just know I laughed out loud. Like it was like 300 to 400 bucks. And I know like the second he said it, I just died laughing. I was like, there's no way, man. This is the budget build. So, on a budget, we rebuilt the distributor for 20 bucks. The whole time we've been having issues with this car, it was distributor related. And we fixed that for $20 by buying 2 half garbage ones and building 1 good one. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are stoked that we rebuilt the distributor. No more complaints in that department and that it's not a head gasket, thank God. I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out and stay committed.